Hey guys, and welcome to the homework number 13 video. I'm filming this right after we finish the solving game, so hopefully we'll be able to use some of the skills we learned there and use them to help us with this homework. So I'm going to do the left column like usual, and we will go from there. So find the area of the triangle below. The formula for the area of a triangle is, as you can see, right here. Also, look at the new pens I got for Christmas from my mom. So thanks, Mom. Now I'm even more like Miss Avra. So just a little aside there. But we know that the formula is right here. A equals 1/2 AB sine C. So let's name what we know. So A and B, it doesn't matter which one we call which because we're multiplying them by each other. And multiplying A times B would be the same thing as B times A. So it doesn't really matter. I'm going to call the top one A, the bottom one B. Remember that capital letters show us angles, so we can call this angle measure right here C. The most important thing to remember with the area formula is that the C from this formula has to be between the A and B. Here we're lucky because they only give us 3 things that we know, and so it's not that hard to figure out, but let's double check anyway. We see that we have this side and this side, so the angle that's forming is this angle right here, and it tells us that it's 40 degrees, so we know that we can go ahead and use the formula. So I'm going to write this out. So we have the area equals 1/2 A, which is going to be 9, times B, which is going to be 10, times sine 40. Believe it or not, I can't do it in my head, so I'm going to run over and grab a calculator really quick. So let's do that together. We have 1/2 times, let's see, can we see that? Good. I'm going to do 0.5 because I like decimals better in the calculator, times 9 times 10 times sine, I forgot the angle, 40. Can't see that again. And that gives me 28.93, which seems reasonable to me. If we're being fancy, we can add on our units as any excellent math scholar would. I'm taking centimeter times centimeter. So that would give me centimeters squared. So we end up with 28.93 centimeters squared. And I forgot the one that I did before, so I wanted to make sure I have the answer key right next to me. Good. So you guys can try this one on the right on your own. It's about the same thing. Remember to check to make sure that the angle is between the two sides that we have. Good. So let's move on to this one. So if triangle ABC has area 150 centimeters squared, find the value of x. So this is x right here. So this time it's a little bit different. Up here we are given 2 side lengths in an angle, 2 side lengths in an angle. We are solving for A. Here we know the area. So once again, I'll rewrite my formula. It's at the top. A equals 1/2 AB sine C. So this time I know that my area is going to be 150 equals 1/2 times A. Let's call 17A. X will be B. So I have times 17 times x or b, whichever one, times sine of 68. I forgot to check. Let's look at this. We have this side and this side are 2 things we're looking for. So 68 is a perfectly good angle to use for C. So I have 2 choices. I don't really like having a fraction over here, so I'm going to simplify that a little bit. If I take 1/2 times 17, reminder that putting anything over 1 just makes it itself. I'm going to have 17 over 2 times sine 68 times x. That just makes it a little bit easier for me. So now I can divide both sides by 17 over 2 sine 68. If I divide that side by by something, I have to divide this side by that times sine 68. Reminder that I'm just trying to get that x by itself. So you can do that in any combination you want. The first time I did it, I just divided it by 1/2 times 17 times 68. So you can really do it in whatever way you want. Let me pull up my fraction bar. So I have 150 divided by, add in another little fraction bar, 17 over 2 times sine 68. So I'm going to do that, sine 68. I end up with 19.033, which is exactly what I got when I did it another way, so that's good. So I have side x equals 19.033 centimeters. And that is my missing side right here. So any questions about that, you can talk to me or Miss Avra. This homework is not due until Tuesday for A days, Wednesday for B days. So that's a pretty good sign. Remember that you can do this one on the right. It's very similar just to the one on the left, a couple different numbers. These last two, I'm not going to solve these for you, but as a little hint if you're stuck, so here we're looking for the area of a triangle, but the good thing is we see this right angle right here. That means that this is a right triangle, and also means that we can use the formula base times height divided by 2, and that'll help us figure out what the area is. Moving on over here, two important things to remember if you're stuck about how to solve it. Reminder that all angles on a straight line add up to 180, so this and plus that would give me 180. And also that all of the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So those are two things to keep in mind. I'll let you solve those on your own. Flipping now to the back side, we have lesson 3.7, all triangle rules. So this is a lot more like the solving game than what we remember. So let's look right here. So it asks me to find AC. So I'm going to look for AC. I'm going to mark that as X right away. I'm looking for that side. So what I like to do when solving these is I like to go from what I think is the easiest to the hardest. So the easiest one that I see, I look to see if I'm trying to solve for an angle or like something that's easy to do. So I can't use properties of a triangle because I'm not using that missing angle. Let's see, can I use right triangle trig? I'm gonna make a box so I can check that yes or no. Is this a right triangle? Probably not. I could add it up and really hope and pray that it looks a right triangle. It doesn't really look like it though. So I know that's not gonna be a right triangle trig. The next easiest thing for me is sine rule. So I'm gonna check for any opposites. So I see I have one opposite pair right here, and I see that I'm looking for one that's included in an opposite pair, so I know that I can use sine rule. So sine rule is a reminder. If you don't remember how to do that, if you look at the homework 12 thing on Google Classroom, the formula sheet, your triangle toolkit will be right on there. But lucky for us, this one's not that hard and doesn't involve that much memorization. So if I'm going to use sine rule, I know that I'm going to take sine 44 over the opposite side, that's x in this case, equals sine of my other angle, which is 83, over its opposite side, which is 15. Then from there, I just want to cross multiply. So I'm going to set that up. I end up with 15 times sine 44 equals x times sine 83. Reminder, I'm trying to get this x by itself. I saw some mistakes on that today, so we just want to get the x by itself. That means we have to divide both sides by sine 83 to undo the multiplication happening between the x and the sine 83. So if we divide both sides by sine 83, I end up with 15 sine 44 divided by sine 83. And let me set up a fraction bar. Hopefully you guys can see that. I have 15 sine 44 divided by sine, oops, that went to sine inverse, didn't it? Sine 83. So that gives me a side length of 10.49, which is exactly what I got over there. So I'm going to say that x equals 10.498 centimeters, if I'm being specific and an excellent math scholar. Good, so I'm going to label that right in here as soon as I find that too, so I don't forget that that's the side that I found. So I know that this side right here is 10.498. I realize you can't see what I just did. This side is 10.498. Looking to part B, it says find the area of triangle ABC. So area, reminder that that formula from the front side is 1/2 AB sine C. So in this case, it's kind of what I was talking about last time. The most important thing here is to know that angle C has to be between sides A and B. So I see I have an angle here, so that looks like something I might want to use. But if I check here, I know the side on the left. I don't know this far side over here, so I don't think that's a good angle to use. So if I'm looking here, I know that I know this side and this side. So I see this side is 10.498, side AC. Side AB is 15. So this is an angle that I would want to think about finding. I don't have that angle, but we know that all of the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So if I take 180 minus 83 minus 44 for those other two angles, I will end up with what my missing angle is. So angle A is going to be 53 degrees. I'll label that over here. So we know that that is going to be 53 degrees. That is a perfectly good angle to use. So here, going back to the bottom, I know that A is going to equal 10.498. B is going to equal 15, because those are two sides I have. And capital C, my degree measured, is going to be 53 degrees, because I calculated that using the area of a triangle. Or, sorry, not using the area of a triangle, using the identity that all angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So now I can fill in my formula. I have A equals 1/2 times 10.498 times 15 times sine 53. Looking here, I'm going to type it in my calculator, 0.5, which is 1/2, times 10.498 times 15 times sine 53. That gives me an area of 62.88 centimeters squared. And that seems pretty reasonable to me. So, once again, that sums up the left column. The right column you can do on your own. If you're missing any formulas, there is a formula sheet on the homework assignment for homework 12. So that would be a good place to look. Otherwise, you might have it with you in your binder. One last reminder, I'm not going to solve these ACT questions, but this one on the left, same idea. A reminder that all degrees in a line equal 180, and that the area of a triangle, or the sum of a degrees in a triangle adds up to 180. Over here, reminder that this is a right triangle, so that means we can use the formula base times height divided by 2. You don't have to use the whole fancy one that we can use for any triangle. So thank you for listening to this homework video. If you have any questions, once again, find me or Miss Avra. But other than that, hope you guys are having a good weekend / next week.